Welcome to Expert Viewpoints, a top executive's view on product management, Part 1. In this video, Brianna Frank, the Vice President of Product and Design, Cross-Portfolio at IBM, will give her opinions and share her experience concerning several questions about the product management role. What makes the field of product management unique and appealing to IT or tech industry professionals?
So I think product management is really for problem solvers and for people who like to invent solutions for the latest problem. And I think in tech in particular, it's a fast-paced environment. There's always new technologies being invented. So as a product manager, you're constantly having to adjust. You're constantly having to find a new path forward. That might mean inventing a brand new technology. And so I think for people who are just natural problem solvers, they're curious, they want to know, and they're just interested in technology, product management is a great field to be in.
Can you share your career journey as a product manager, highlighting key milestones and experiences that have shaped you from an entry-level product manager to a product management executive?
So I took a different path to product management. And a lot of my background was actually in marketing, and my father actually owned his own ad agency. I started my career in marketing. And as I took more and more different types of roles throughout my career, I noticed that I had a knack for bringing new products to market from a business sense. And so I had some experience, a brief stint in sales. I've done design. I've worked in development. And all of those experiences were really helped give me a more rounded kind of view of the business and helped really equip me with some empathy, because now I know the pain points of being in all of these different roles. And I think that really helped me as a product manager, because I'm having to influence and help all of these different disciplines around me. And so spending some time in all of those roles for me was very, very helpful. And I took a formal product management role about 10 years ago. And I remember being very nervous about it and thinking, well, gosh, I'm not sure if I'm, qualified. I don't know if I've never done anything like this before. And after about a year in the role, I just realized it was so much fun. It was very rewarding for me, but it was just something I had a knack for. And I realized this is really probably what I was meant to do all along. Product management is a lot like being a CEO or a general manager of a set of services. And so you really have to own every part of the product end to end, from inception all the way to, the end of a sale. Even after the sale, even after the sale, you're kind of worried about whether your clients or your users enjoyed that product. So having that sort of responsibility or accountability for the entire product end to end is pretty interesting for me anyway, and is really what kind of propelled me into the field, and which is why I'm here today.
What advice can you give to those just starting their journey to become a product manager?
Okay, so I think the best advice I could give is always be curious and really listen. And so I think it's very obvious you should always listen to your users, but not necessarily what they're telling you they want, but really listening to their pain points and, what is blocking them from going faster or innovating, or, what's holding them back. Because, I think that it was famous that, Henry Ford said that, clients want a faster horse, not a car. So you have to really hone in on the pain point so that you can invent the right solution for that pain point. The other piece of advice that I like to give is I always say, don't trust, only verify. And as a product manager, I think it's really important to be grounded in facts. So if you hear a stat, one of the little tricks that I like to do is I always double check that stat. So it's really important to me, one, to have access to all the tools and dashboards so that I can check them myself, and then I can check on them and really start to understand the data that I'm looking at, instead of just being, someone passes you a piece of information and then you're taking that at face value. I think as a product manager, you have to be able to pull your own data. And in a big company, that requires you to have access to lots of different tools and have lots of different experiences and skill sets in many different tools. But I think it's really important that you understand every piece of data that you can possibly get. You need to be able to pull it yourself, understand where that data is being pulled from, and then that will help you make the right choices in analyzing that data. So my biggest things or two is, be curious and like really ask, questions about pain points. And then secondly, don't trust, only verify.